Howdy there, Internet students. This is Mr. Hermanson again, and this is lesson 5.3D. We are going to learn how to find the surface area of a cylinder, and we're going to use the net to do that. You see this net right here. This will make a cylinder. Now, the length of this line right here is the length of this line right here, because it has to wrap all the way around, which is the circumference of the circle. So this dimension right here, this part of the rectangle, you're going to get by multiplying the circumference of the circle by 10. And then you just have to add two bases. So you actually have to add three things. The top base, the bottom base, and the side walls. It's pretty much like we've been doing for prisms. Prisms also have a big old rectangle, and this big rectangle, the length of that is the perimeter, and then you have the base areas. So you have two base areas, plus one big rectangle when you do any prism. Okay, and a cylinder is like a prism. Okay, so what makes the outside of a cylinder? The base is the top shape, the base is the bottom shape, so there are two bases. The lateral surface area, which is the wraparound sides of the cylinder, that's a rectangle. And the area, you can find the area of the shape that makes a side wall by multiplying the circumference times the height. And the dimensions of the sidewall shape will be circumference and height. Okay, so the general formula looks like this, and I've showed you this already. Add two bases, and then take the perimeter times the height. So if we put that in terms of circles, the surface area is 2 times pi r squared, plus the diameter times pi times the height, because that's the circumference, or the perimeter. All right, this formula, as you have seen, I've been starting to show you this, also works for prisms. And I'll let you, so let's write it down. So we're going to take two bases plus the perimeter times the height. Now, when we're talking about the height, we're talking about the distance between the bases. So in this one, the height is 28. Let's put that there. The perimeter is the distance around the base, so the length of that red line that I just drew, which is 22 plus 12, and there's two of those, because there's another 22 over here and another 12 over here. So that's 44, and 24 is 68. That's the perimeter. And then we need two bases. And to get the base, we're going to take 22 times 12, which is, I'll just write it like that, 22 times 12. But there's two of those. So 2 times 22 times 12, which is, I think, 264 for each base. And then we have the lateral area, which we get by doing the perimeter times the height, which we have here. Okay, so on your calculator, you can do 2 times 264 plus 68 times 28. And that equals 2,432 square centimeters. Okay, why don't you try that on this one? Okay, and I'm just going to draw this out for you, so to help you. So find the area of one triangle. That's base times height divided by 2. And then the other part you're going to do by finding the area of this big rectangle that makes these sides. And so this length right here, I'll draw a blue line, is the perimeter of the triangle. and you multiply that by the height. The height is the distance between the two triangular bases, which is 15. Let's put that there. Find the perimeter of the triangle, put that there. Multiply those two to get this, and then do base times height divided by 2 in the triangle, and multiply that by 2. And this formula can help remind you of that. You have two bases, two base areas, plus the perimeter times the height. Give it a shot. See what you get. All right, you should have got 232 for that if you did it right. Check out my work. Okay, we're going to apply that same strategy to help us find the volume or the surface area of a cylinder. We're going to need the area of the base, so let's go ahead and do that. And that formula is pi times the radius squared. So 3.14 times the radius. Now, 4 is the diameter here, so we only need half that for the radius. That would be 2. So we're going to do 3.14 times 2 squared. So that's 12.56. And we're going to find the height of the prism. That's 5. To get the volume, you just multiply the area of the base times the height. So 12.56 times 5, 62.8. Now to find the surface area, we're going to need the circumference, which is diameter times pi, which is 4 times 3.14. $12.56. Interesting that that's the same as the area of the base, but that's because of the certain radius that we had. Because 2 times 2 is the same as 4, right? Which is the same as 2 squared. And then to get the surface area, we're going to take 2 times the area of the base, which was 12.56, plus the perimeter of the base, which is the circumference, 12.56, times the height of the prism, which is 5. Okay, and we can do that all at once. We're going to do 2 times 12.56 plus 12.56 times 5. 87.92. And we usually round our answers to the nearest tenth when we're putting them on the Google form. So that would be 87.9. I'll just write the whole thing there though. All right, you guys try this. Fill in all the blanks and see if you can get the surface area right. All right, if you didn't get the same thing I got, 753.6, then you're going to want to look at my work and see which part you did wrong. All right, we can also do the same thing by looking at a flat pattern, a net. The area of the base is going to be the same. We're going to take 3.14 times 7 squared. The height of the prism on this net would be this blue line, so you can fill that in, 16. And the circumference of the base is just the circumference of the circle, which is diameter times pi, 14 times pi. So go ahead and fill those in, see if you get them right. All right, once again, look at your numbers, look at my numbers, and whichever numbers you have wrong, see if you can fix those. Okay, now this will actually make kind of a slanted looking cylinder. Not that that really matters, but to find the area of this part, you're going to take the circumference. This line here is the circumference times the height. The one that has a little perpendicular symbol and the right angle symbol is the height. So use 8 for your height. Go ahead and do the rest of it. All right, check your answers and see if they agree with mine. Make sure, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I've been using 3.14 for pi all the time. All right, looks like you're ready to try some of these. try to kind of start to learn this surface area formula, use it for prisms and cylinders. All right, good luck with that. Talk to you soon.